What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using a drawing file that I have posted a copy of out in Blackboard. It's it's going to be in the week 2 training. Let me double check to make sure I've actually got it out there. Let's see, here's Blackboard. Oh, Blackboard, come on here. And it's going to be in the week 2 training. So if you go in Civil 3D training, you'll find this file in week 2. And it's called iParcels Enhanced Drawing File. It's a DWG file. It's created in the older version of the software. So if you download it and then open it, what'll happen is that it'll ask you some prompts. And I think you'll see those here today as I work with the Civil 3D software. So let me pop that drawing file open so you can see what this thing is. And I don't know how my software is going to run here with all this other stuff running, but we'll find out, I guess. So I've just got this down in here in my stuff. Parcels want to go. So iParcels Enhanced. And I'm going to pop this drawing open. And it'll say with an earlier version. That's fine. And then it may, let's see, it's going to give me a VBA.net conversion. It's thinking. No, it looks like it likes that so far. So good. That's all right. So we're good to go. So what I always like to do when I get a new drawing file is I like to take a look and see what exactly I've got in this thing and make sure this is sharing correctly. It looks like it is. And see if that'll pop up in there. So let's take a look and see what we've got in here and spend a little time browsing this file first. So if I rest in this area here on this blue line, that's nothing more than just a polyline. That represents probably the outer boundary of an area that we want to work with here for a project development site, let's say. And what else I got here? It looks like I've got a horizontal alignment floating around in here. If I rest on that, it says Alignment Orchard Road. My tooltips pop up, so that's what that alignment is. And I'm going to spend a little time looking over here in the prospector, see what I got over here in my collections. So it looks like I've got a points collection that's populated with a bunch of points. What do I got for point groups? I've got an all points group, which will always be there. I've got a point group called trees, and I've got a point group called existing topo, which is in use by something else right now. You can see the little kind of wedge-shaped yellow triangle there. That means it's in use by something else in the software. I suspect it's in use by a surface. So I'm going to collapse my point groups tree and expand my surfaces tree. And I have an existing ground surface in there. And let's see how that surface is defined. I'm going to look at its definition. And it looks like it's got a boundary set. There's an outer boundary. And then it looks like there's a point group added into it, and that's where that existing topo points is being used. So you can see that's populated in here. So that surface is using that existing topo point group. The surface right now, I'm going to take and make sure that my you can see actually the display of it is off. I'm going to double check to see if my previews are on here. For surfaces. Yeah, show preview is on, that's good, and my preview button is on the top of the tool space. This is a little different now in this version of the software. It used to be you could always turn your previews on and then you'd have to toggle the actual preview function to use item previews, but now they force you to toggle this first before you can actually select a show preview on your right click pop-up menu. So any group or any object collection, if you right click, you've got let's see, points don't, let's see here, point groups, points will not, but like alignments, they'll have show previews option on there. And so in this one, I had this Orchard Road alignment. It's living outside of a site right now. Notice where it is. It's up here in just the general alignments collection. And I turn my previews on for alignment, so when I highlight that alignment, it shows me what it looks like there. And you can pan and stuff in that preview mode as well. So I got an Orchard Road alignment. That just confirms what I saw over in the graphics. What do I have for sites here? I have a site called Site 1 right now. It has no alignments in it. These are just alignment categories. There's nothing populated in here. I don't see any little boxes with a square and a dot in the center. So that site there is empty. So Okay, so what we're going to do here is we want to divide this area up and create some parcels in this thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an outer boundary parcel. So this would be like my existing parcel, this outer big boundary one. I'm going to create this outer boundary parcel first. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put it down into a site. So first thing first, I'm going to create a new site here to hold this site container. So if I right click on sites and say new, like all objects, you get an information tab. And so I'm going to call this existing parcels, or existing parcel, I guess. How about that? As far as the rest of these tabs, the geometry numbering doesn't really matter at this point. The numbering will start probably at parcel 1. So you'll just see like 1 in here when I do this parcel. So I'm going to have an existing parcel site, and I'm going to create another site right away because I know I'm going to eventually be cutting this up and making new parcels. I want those to go into a proposed parcel site. So I'm going to right click on sites again, that collection, say new. I'm going to create a new one here, and I'm going to name it right away in the information tab as proposed parcels. And I'm not going to put any descriptions in, that's just for the operator's convenience anyway. So there, I created 2 new containers, 2 new sites. They're both empty right now, nothing in them. So good. What I'm going to do is kind of walk through the process similar to what you'd be doing in the homework assignment eventually. In that, I'm going to create this outer boundary one from objects, and then I'm going to duplicate it over into the proposed parcel site, copy it over there, and then start dividing it up. So one of the methods I can use for creating parcels is to actually create parcels from objects. All your create design stuff lives up here on your ribbon in the create design panel. And up here in the upper left corner of the create design panel is you have some options for creating parcels. The parcel creation tools is more the automated tools. The create parcel from objects is like the name implies. It's going to create from lines, arcs, and polylines. So I'm going to select create parcel from objects. Now, in this case, I said, using polylines is a little bit dangerous for creating parcels. I have not checked. I assume this polyline closes because it lights all the way up, all the way around. Depends on how somebody created it. I don't know. I'm going to try it once. So I'm going to select that line. I'm going to hit enter to accept it. And as soon as I do, I get this little create parcel from objects dialog box coming up. And remember, I want this to go into my existing parcels site. So I'm going to change my site here to existing parcel. If you put it into the wrong site, you can move it later on using some special tools over here in the parcels collection. But try to get it in the right site to start with. So I'm going to put it in existing parcel. The style here I'm going to use is property. It's just a generic, it's how the line work is going to look and what layer it's going to live on. I'm just going to call it property, that's fine. And it's showing me what layers that by default is going to. cprop and cprop line is where the parcel segments will end up on. That's okay. The label styles for the area label, that's important. It's just going to give a parcel number right now. There's some other basic ones in this particular drawing. Name, area, and perimeter, name, square foot, and acres. I'm just going to use parcel number. And then I'm not going to have it label any of the segments, put any of the bearings or distances or curve labels or anything on there. I'm just going to leave all the labels off. And then I have to make a decision in this box if I want to keep or erase this existing polyline. What I generally recommend initially is that if you're using layers to separate stuff, it's good to not erase these things immediately in case there's a problem. If you created this parcel object and then it didn't close, and then you delete the parcel, you're gonna lose all your line work. So what I tell people initially is don't erase them. You can always erase the polylines or the lines and arcs that you used eventually, very simply with a selection set. But just don't erase them at this point. So I'm going to say OK there. And when I do that, there's some good things happen. Doesn't look like much initially, but I get a number popping up in here, and that's a good sign. That is my area label for this parcel. Now, I have my selection cycler turned on down here. And if you didn't see how to turn on selection cyclers, you can see that in the the Homework 1 drawing video. I think I may have put it also in the surfaces video. But selection cycling is important when you have multiple stuff laying on top of each other in the software. So like in this case, I've got two objects there. The top one's a parcel segment, and if I selected there, the polyline is below it. Okay, so parcel segments on top, polylines are below it. So, okay, so I've got parcel segments. If I look out my prospector right away under this existing parcel site, notice now that under this existing parcel site, my parcels collection has updated, and I have a property under there called property 1. And if I rest on that initially, I don't see anything down here in the preview. So I got to make sure that I've got my show previews on here. So for parcels, that parcels collection, let's say show preview. My button up here on the top of my tool space to show object previews is on. Now if I highlight that, that's good. So it looks like the parcel closes. Everything's golden there. If I right click on this property, this parcel in the prospector, I can go to the properties of it. And if I look at the properties of it, I can look at things like its composition. So it tells me the area and perimeter in there. I can look at the analysis, which is basically the meets and bounds segments for it. Okay. That's some basic stuff I can get off of that property. I can change the area style from parcel number to something else if I wanted to. So all those things are doable in that just by right-clicking on the parcel name out here and selecting the properties for it. Okay. All right, so I got that existing parcel created. Now I said what I wanted to do is make some parcels in here. I want to split this thing up. So again, that's another design alternative. This existing one I want to retain. Okay, I don't want to blow that away. I don't want to cut that all up because I may be using that for multiple different alternatives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually copy this parcel into my proposed parcel site so I can use it as a starting point for my design alternative for these proposed parcels. Now the way you do that is if you go to the parcel, like for instance here property 1, and you right click, that right click menu will come up with some options. So we had looked at properties a little bit already, but then down below that, notice what you got. You got to move to site and you have a copy to site option. I want to copy this thing to another site. Okay, I want to copy it over to my proposed parcel site. So I'm going to copy to site. And when I do that, the software is going to come up and say, hey, copy to site, the destination site. Where do you want this to go? I want it to go to proposed parcels. What do you want to take along? I just want to take along property number 1. It's the only one I got. I'm going to say OK there. And when I do that, now I still have my parcel up here, property 1, in my existing parcels site. If I expand my proposed parcels collection and parcels under that, I got property 1 under there also. Okay. Now sometimes this causes some confusion for people because they're working on a proposed design. They say, "Hey, I've got 2 parcel 1s." Well, one of them is your original. The other one is some kind of divided out one. It might be a whole different looking parcel, as you'll see here shortly. So this is where I'm going to be doing the bulk of my work, is down here in proposed parcels now and working through on that side of things. Now, what I am going to do here too, to kind of make my life a little bit easier, is I'm going to make a new style here so I don't see this existing parcel, so it doesn't confuse me. So right now, if I look at this parcel in my existing parcels, and I right-click its properties, the object style is set to property right now. And I had some other ones like basic, open space, road, single family. I'm going to create a no display version so I can just turn it off graphically. I'm not going to do it with layer control. It's a poor way to do it in Civil 3D. The best way to control these things is through object styles because there's multiple layers. The labels and the segments and everything are on different layers in this thing. So what I'm going to do is I can do that right through this dialog box. It's one of several ways I can create a new style. But over here in this dialog, I can pop over here into this drop down and I can say I'm going to copy this existing style and I'm going to modify it. So I'm going to copy current selection, which is property, Okay. And so now I'm going to rename it here. So that says parcel style property copy. I'm going to change this to underscore no display just so I can create something that doesn't show all this stuff. So that's the new name of it, no display. That's the name of this copy. Design section display tab I'm going to go to. And then here's where I control what's visible. So you can see parcel segments are shown as visible right now. I'm going to turn those off. I'm going to turn off that layer. And these are by view direction also. You can look at it differently in plan view versus model view when you move it up in isometrics versus section views. So in model view, it's visible as well. I'm going to turn it off there right away also. So this new style, style I just kind of created as a copy of an existing one to make life simple. I renamed it to no display. I've turned off the visibility of the parcel segments. I'm going to say OK there. This object style now for property 1 is going to be set to no display. I can use that with other parcels as well. Say OK there. So now what I've done is this existing parcel, let's see, did I change it? Make sure I got that right. Did I save that? Just make sure I got all my settings right here. Yep, that's good. That looks good there. I should be okay there. Should be okay there. Good. All right, I'm good. So that existing parcel is actually turned off graphically right now. Doesn't show that it is, but it's turned off graphically right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop down in here and I'm going to start working on this proposed parcel site. So what I'm going to do to illustrate the impact and the interaction of stuff in a site is this Orchard Road alignment right now lives outside of the site. I'm going to move it down into this proposed parcel site, and we'll see how it interacts with this proposed outer boundary parcel that I have in here. So same thing again, if you want to move an alignment out of the main collection up above, so I'm going to go to alignment, center line. There's Orchard Road. I'm going to highlight the name of it. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say, I'm going to move that one physically. Instead of copying it, I'm going to move it to the site because I don't want duplicates of it. So move it to site. And it's going to ask you, what site do you want to take it to? Well, I don't want an existing. I want to take it over to proposed. So proposed parcels. What do you want to take? I want to take alignments Orchard Road. Let's say OK there. As soon as I do that, notice what happened over here in my graphics. So first I've got a second parcel shows up. We'll look at that here shortly. The alignment, I moved it, so it's no longer in my primary alignments collection. If I expand down here in my tree for my proposed parcels, I have alignments under that now, and I have a centerline alignment. Orchard Road is down here now. And when I did that, things in a site interact with each other. And you notice my parcels one has this like 3 little bars box next to it. It means it's out of date. I'm going to refresh it. So I'm going to right click on the entry for parcels under proposed parcels. I'm just going to say refresh down at the bottom. So now notice what I've got here. I got property 1, which is the south half, south of Orchard Road. Property 2, which is the north half, north of Orchard Road. So by putting Orchard Road in there, it's actually divided this up. And if you make changes to the Orchard Road alignment, just for an example here, if I grip edit this alignment, okay, notice what happens to my parcel. It's interacting with that. It's interacting with that alignment. So as the alignment geometry changes, the parcel that is in that, the parcels in that same site are also changing and interacting with that as well. So I'm going to undo that grip edit just to take it back and get it back to where it was. So that's kind of a demonstration of that interaction. What I'm going to do next is I want to get some right-of-way in here. And right-of-way is technically another parcel in Civil 3D. I didn't talk about it much in our parcel creation, but there is a special tool for this in the software. So sometimes if you're doing automatic creation, it's nice to automatically create the right-of-ways right away. So if I pop up here into my Create Design panel and to my Parcels creation parcel menu, parcel option, parcel drop-down I should say, I've got an option here for Create Right-of-Way. Now any of these icons, see how all these icons have like a star or a starburst behind them, a sunburst, I don't know what you want to call that. That means it's going to give you additional menus when you do this. So that's why they've got these little starbursts on there. I'm going to say Create Right-of-Way. And when I do that, notice what happens down here in my command prompt. You always have to kind of watch. It says create parcel right away. It says select parcels. What parcel do you want to create the right away on? I want to create it. I can do it now. I have two parcels here now. Okay, I can do it for parcel 1, and I can do it for, notice how it highlights, so that's the correct parcel 1. I don't have like a duplicate of one in the existing ground layer or existing ground site because I turned off the display for that. And I'm going to also do it for parcel 2 because they're separate parcels. There's going to be some amount of the right of way that's off of parcel 1. There's another amount of the right of way that's going to be off of parcel 2 here when I do this. So once I have the two parcels selected, the way I selected them by clicking on the area labels for them, they highlighted. That's the importance of those area labels. It tells me down below, says 2 total now. And if you ever get lost or this menu disappears, you can hit your function F2 and that'll bring up an expansion of this a history for this command prompt area so you can see what's telling you. But I got them selected. I'm going to hit enter to accept that. And when I do that, it brings me up this little dialog box. It says create right away. These are the settings for my right away. Well, how far do you want this offset from the alignment? I'm going to offset this. I don't know if I wanted a 60-foot wide right of way, I'd have to go 30 feet either side of center line. So offset from alignment 30 feet. What do you want to do where it runs into the intersection of the parcel boundary? Do you want it to fillet it? And what do you want exactly? Well, if we went with a circular radius of 20 feet, I might go to a 25-foot radius there. That might be a little nicer for curb line. I could go tighter too, I suppose. The cleanup method is going to be a fillet. If there was intersecting alignments, how do you want to create the right of way? It's the same thing. It's where you have like a T intersection or a four-way intersection, how you want to dress up the quadrants for the right of way there. I don't have any intersecting streets, no additional alignments, so this one's irrelevant right now. But so I'm going to generate that right of way for 2 parcels. When I do that, notice what happens here. Now I have 4 parcels all of a sudden. So I got parcel 1. There's somehow the right of way came off of that parcel. That became parcel 3. I got parcel 2, and there's some part of the right of way came off of parcel 2, which is now parcel 4. And if I refresh over here, this is all in proposed parcels. And the reason they're over in proposed is because 1 and 2 that I selected were in the proposed parcels. All right. If I refresh here, so here is my 4 properties now. There's parcel 1 to the south without the right of way, parcel 2 to the north less its right of way, parcel 3 which is the right of way to the south, parcel 4 which is the right of way to the north side of the road. All right, so now I got 4 parcels in there. And again, if I modify this alignment, these parcels will adjust to accommodate that alignment modification. All right, so my autosave just hit here. So the software is set by default to autosave every 10 minutes. I don't know if Devin talked about that or not. And it creates a BAK file every time it autosaves, but it is on a 10-minute cycle. I will say that generally, and you haven't seen me do it here yet, but generally when I'm working in the software, I do saves as I go. When I do a major change and I'm satisfied with the change, I'll save that change. Because at any point, you never know, this thing could crash out on you randomly. And while you can go to the backup file is 10 minutes, could be up to 10 minutes old. May not have a lot of stuff that you did in it recently. So, in any event, that's just a point of information. So let's create some automatically create some parcels along the north end here. And I'm going to use this as my frontage. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's change over and let's use the parcel creation tools now. These are the automated tools in Civil 3D. And when you do that, it brings you up this nice little palette. This is a parcel layout tools palette. And most palettes in Civil 3D work from the left to the right. So what I'm going to do here, if you kind of start browsing through these, you can see there's a create parcel tool. There's some things that are kind of like create segments, like line segments, curve segments, that kind of stuff. I'll talk about that a little bit more later on when it comes to troubleshooting parcels in Civil 3D. How do you use these tools to troubleshoot? And then there's some other ones, slide line tools, which we're going to use, some stuff like that. So the other thing you'll notice on this tool palette is there's a set of chevrons on the right end. And the chevrons on any tool palette are where you can apply additional settings. In this case, it's my default settings for the automated parcel creation. So what I want to do here is I'm going to set some changes in here. I want my minimum frontage to be 50 feet for these parcels. I want my minimum area to be 5,000 square feet. So 5,000 square feet for minimum area, 50-foot frontages, minimum frontage at offset. And if you highlight any one of these, it'll show you in the iconograph down below what these things actually mean in there. Okay. Frontage offset. That's, where is the frontage going to be measured from the front line here. I guess I could probably set that to 0 here. Let's see here. I guess maybe I'll leave a lot as default. Minimum width, minimum depth. Let's see what we get. So there's our depth minimum 50 feet, width 50 feet minimum. Use maximum depth of 500. That might be a little deep. We'll see. If there's multiple solutions, use the shortage frontage. Okay. Automatic mode is off, meaning it's going to ask me to confirm each parcel as it places it. If I have this set to on, it'll generate the whole tier of them right away. I'll just leave it to off for now so you can kind of see it. And then how do you want to deal with the remnant, what's left over? You can place it in the last parcel, you can redistribute it, or you can create a parcel from the remainder. I'm going to put it all in the last parcel, just push it all to one direction here. So there's my settings. I can collapse my chevrons. Then I'm going to do come over here to my automated layout tools. I'm going to do slide line create. And then, you notice it popped the chevrons back up, which is fine. The site, I want to go to proposed parcels with these. I don't want this in existing. These are proposed. The style is going to be property. That's fine. The layers are hard-coded in based on the style. Labels, I'm not going to put any labels on other than the area label, which is parcel number. So I'm not going to automatically add all the segment labels. I'm going to say OK there. And then it says select the parcel to be subdivided. I'm going to close these chevrons up so I can see. I want to subdivide parcel 2 here. And then it says select the start point on the frontage. So now I got to make sure my snaps are on. I could turn my running snaps on here. I guess I just turn on my snaps here temporarily. So start point on frontage. I want to start, let's see, I got an intersection snap there. I think that's okay. And then as soon as you snap, it starts dragging out and showing where the frontage is. So I got to be able to pan along here. And this is going to, my frontage is going to end right there. All right. So there it's got, that's what my frontage line is going to be. It shows me the direction I went. So I'm going from left to right here, from west to east. Then it says specify angle or bearing or azimuth. This is for the first line. Let's just say that I want these to be I'll pick the angle here. Let's just see here if I can pick. I'm going to pick off here. I want from here to there. And that shows me my first result. And it says, do you want to accept that result? Do you like that? And I could enter here, or I could hit yes if I like that one. There's a second one. Okay, going right on down the line. I'm just hitting yes through these. These all look good, 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 good. I'm going to pan along here. I got a mouse button down to pan. That looks good, 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 good. And kick the remnant out here into the end. All right. And then once I'm satisfied with that, I can exit out of the command. It asked me, do I want to adjust anything? I guess I exited out before I did any adjustments. But notice now it's got the parcel numbering in here. The parcel numbering is not terrific on this. We'll talk about how to fix that up. I've got actually, I think, some separate videos on renumbering parcels. But for now, you can see it's in there. If I look at my parcels collection over here, refresh this. There you can see there's all those parcels popping in there. If I highlight any one of these, I can see what those things are looking like. All right. So that's creating parcels with the automated tools. Just a quick way to quick example of that. I can also do this with my create from objects, and I have a whole bunch of these laid out down here. I just gotta remember what layer do I have these on. C prop polylines, I think they are on. So I'm gonna go in here and turn on my C prop polylines layer. It's frozen right now. This is something that's kind of interesting too. Freeze thaw is probably the primary way you deal with a lot of stuff now in Civil 3D. On off, freeze thaw, on and off is kind of, it's almost become a secondary thing in AutoCAD in some ways. Freeze and thaw are becoming more and more of the common tools. So anyway, here I've got a whole bunch of line work. These happen to be AutoCAD polylines. which may or may not be good. We'll just kind of see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to divide up this area now using parcels by objects and using this line work, this pre-existing line work. If all these close, then I will be in good shape. If they don't, then I'll show you some quick ways that you can test them. Matter of fact, let's break one right away. Let's just see here. Can I break this one? I'm going to explode this. No, I'll leave it. I'll leave it for right now. So if I want to do parcel from objects, you come for parcel on your create design panel, parcel from objects. Select lines, arcs, or polylines. Now I can also do my selection set ahead. I'm going to do it this way. See if I can see. I think it'll let me do this. I'm going to select this polyline. I'm going to right click, say select similar, so that they're all selected, and let's see if it'll let me hold that. Create parcel from objects. Looks like it will. Maybe, maybe not. These are going to go to proposed parcels. Going to get parcel number. I don't want to erase existing. Say OK. And there they are. So I did my selection set first. Now you start looking at these. If you have something like up here in the corners, see my right of way, I'd filleted with a radius, circular radius. This one had a chamfer in it, so I've got a little parcel there. If I don't like that, I can take and I can modify this parcel, or I can delete this parcel segment. So looks like all my parcels generated, even the right of way generated. So let's clean some of this up a little bit here and get some of this cleaned up. Let's say I want to get rid of this parcel out here 79. Well, you can't delete the parcel. What you have to do is you have to delete the segments that are creating it. So the way I edit this is I come back up here to parcel, and I'm going to use my parcel creation tools now. And on here you have the tools for actually modifying and manipulating these things. So let's say, for instance, I want to delete this segment, so I get rid of parcel 79. Up here on my parcel layout tools, I have a delete subentity tool. That's to delete a segment. If I select that, it says select the subentity to remove, and I'm going to select that subentity, and notice what happens. 79 went away. Parcel segment for it went away. It went away. 20 over here, I don't want that one. Blast that one out of there. Parcel 20 goes away. If I want to clean this up in here where I've got this right away, see I've got a little segment coming across here that created. Blast that one out of there. I can blast this out of here. See how the parcel went away but the segments aren't all gone? Okay. So now parcel 3, if I refresh this, parcel 3 is all my right away to the south. Oops. Why aren't you showing there, you? Did I not refresh that? Oh, where is it showing in here? Should be. Looks like it's in here. Should be all this area to the south here. It might have one more thing in there. I might have to look at that a little closer. I kind of did that fast. So in any event, that's some basic things you can do there. If you wanted to divide something up further, or if you wanted to test, if you had one of these parcels didn't close. So let's say, for instance, I came in here and I did have a gap in a corner. Let me just kind of see if I can break something here. I don't know if I can because these are actually... Oh, let's see here. What do I got here? Parcel segment. Can I grip it at that segment? Yeah, it's actually they're connected. I can't do that. If you had a situation where you did a parcel by objects, let's do it off to the side here real quick. Let me just place a bunch of lines here just to create some lines. So line, 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 and let's just make it simple. Let's go like that. So that closes, right? And if I wanted to create a parcel from object, no problem. I just select my line work. Okay, enter to accept it, plop it over into the site, not going to erase the existing. I'd have a parcel. But if for some reason that line work had a gap in it, okay, that parcel wouldn't generate. Now sometimes you can physically see that gap. All right, sometimes you can physically see that gap, but if you can't see the gap, if it's so close, if I turn my snaps off, I can get these so close it looks like they're right on, but they're not really right on. All right, until you zoom way in there, sometimes you can't even see it then. You can use the parcel creation tools to do testing to figure out which corner isn't closing. And the way you do that is you come back in here to your parcel creation tools and you use something like place a parcel line. And you say, okay, I'm going to put these in my proposed parcel site. I'm going to say okay there. It says specify start. So I'm just going to drag across the corner. Okay, well that corner closes because when I drag a line across there, that one works. Let's see here. Let me put another one in. I got to get rid of that one. I don't want that one. Got to clean that one out. Those are all the same segment. Let me try another one here. Let's create a line again. If I check this corner, down here. That corner closes. Let me try another one. Let me try up here to the north. That one doesn't seem to close up there to the north, right? Okay, let me make double check to make sure I don't have a duplicate in there. So just check again. And to propose parcels, and I just kind of draw this parcel segment across. Well, it closes down here, doesn't close up there. So that means this corner's got a problem. So you can use these tools with the place line and delete subentities to kind of check stuff out to see where you've got a corner maybe or something that's in bad shape. So that's some fundamentals as it relates to parcel creation. I'll get this posted up in Blackboard. I'll also try to put together a video today, probably be tonight, on the second homework assignment and some of the strategy for that. So you can kind of get started on that one as well. Let me see here. Let me see if I can